Thank you so much to Vanessa-Jean Boscarella Ovens for joining us today. We're doing this 25 days of bold requests, and it's such a pleasure to have this incredible woman. She is Australia's first presidential diamond, along with her husband Paul Ovens, and she is an absolute genius in the way that she has put together her business and puts a lot of heart, and is just pure heart and soul and love that goes through her tree. So to be able to have this time with Vanessa-Jean, to be able to tap into her genius and her zone of genius about how she does what she does is incredibly wonderful and inspiring. So thank you so much, Vanessa-Jean.
Thanks, gorgeous. Thanks for having me, Chantel.
Thank you.
Talk about the zone of genius, baby. Maybe we can go into heart genius.
Heart genius sounds good.
Not a mental genius. I can certainly attribute the balance of the mental that comes in, that Paul balances so beautifully in this. It's we have this harmonious way of working. So while I was used to working with a lot of that mental, the mental genius throughout university, I remember making a pledge to say, you know what? It's actually the heart IQ that I want to work with mostly here, and that's really where dōTERRA is at, and that's where Paul has an amazing strength as well. I think if everyone can really feel into their heart IQ and work with that, and then maybe marry that with this amazing brain matter that we have here, this grey matter, and pull out more threads from there, it actually enables you to use more of that brain space than we otherwise would when you come from that heart IQ, because you're accessing different channels.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just by the by. That's not really what you're after, but yes.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. So I guess what I'm after is I've got many builders, and I know a lot more builders outside of my team is going to be watching this video. So how can you relate how you do your business? Because I know you come from such a heart-centered space of love, but I also know that you fill your classes as well. You'll talk about classes full of like 40 people, and you consistently have them and they all enroll. So just some ideas of how you go about like booking your classes. How do you fill your classes? How does that all happen for you?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. So the first thing is mindset. This is where I believe it all starts from, Chantel. Yeah, so I guess I just never knew any better. I didn't know that classes didn't fill. So I just had the assumption, I guess, that all my classes would fill, and they did. And a beautiful way for each of us at a practical level to plug into that let's fill the classes and create that assumption and generate it in the physical form is to actually put classes on that reflect our passion. Right? Because as we get in touch with our passions and become familiar with them, because it's a thing that us adults, grown-up people, don't often give ourselves permission to dive into. As we dive into what it is we're passionate about, we're in this really privileged place in dōTERRA, right? We can do whatever hours we like, and we have a lot of elasticity, right, to work with. So I looked at, okay, so I had some really, really prominent passions that I was really attuned to, and one was food. So really nourishing us at a mental, emotional, and physical level. So my food was meditation and sound, physical food that we eat, so the whole food cooking and the raw food cuisine, and then emotional food and sustenance, which is where I love to create my classes like the art of blending that a lot of you all do now, which I'm stoked about and love, right? So this is how we feed ourselves. So, okay, so feeding others is my passion. So then what I did is I broke it down and looked at how can I feed them? How can I nourish them the most from this heart space that I love to work from? So I put on like a series of 8-week food classes, for instance, right? And I made it so that it's accessible to everyone. So break that food classes down to whatever it is your passion is, folks. That's what I'd say. So if that's like gut health or, empowering women, connecting their mamas with their bubbas, whatever it might be, just reframe it to that and create a dynamic program that suits their needs. That's easy and accessible. And that's actually the key, because humans are so busy doing right now. Yeah. They need something that's short and sharp and concise for them to plug into, right? So then it comes to the practical thing of inviting people. Mm-hmm. So based on your passions and what you're doing, you invite people with your passion. I am so excited to be holding this class for you all. I can't wait to see you all there. So again, it was my assumption that they would all just want to come, that they were going to show up. right?
Yeah.
All of my classes were always free. Food classes, we charge like a nominal amount, which is totally okay. See, people, if we talk about exception and assumption, actually accept that.
Yes.
Because you're paying for food and maybe hiring a venue and that kind of thing. So you just charge a small amount and then discount it for them to bring people. And this is key for increasing numbers of people coming. So what I will often do is $35 per person for a 2-hour class, and they get 8 to 10 recipes, and then $25 bring a friend. Every other class that I do is free. But the same thing, bring a friend to those classes and I'm going to give you a gift. Right? Because I'm so grateful that you're sharing this with your loved ones, and I can't wait to share these beautiful natural solutions to health with your loved ones.
Yeah.
Right? But every time I'm inviting, I'm assuming that not only they want to come, but they're going to want to bring others as well. And that's how I fill my classes, based on passions and the assumption that they're going to want to come, they're actually going to attend, and they're going to bring people with them.
Yes, yeah. So are you talking with people one-on-one, like when you're inviting them into a class, or does this happen over the phone, or how do you bring that passion across?
Yeah, so good question. So when I first started dōTERRA, I didn't really have a computer or anything like that. So I was texting and calling people, because a lot of people can't always answer the phone, especially mums with new babies. So I'd send a text and really personalize it. And I know people I'm in touch with. So my text would really be personalized to, babe, I'm so excited to share this with you. Or just telling me last week how sleep deprived you are, or how much you need to nourish yourself with food. Guess what? I'm putting this on, and I'd so love you to come and rock up as my guest. Right? Yeah. Bring little Mary, and we're all going to love giving her cuddles and, helping taking her off your hands while you're there, those kinds of things. Yeah. The other way is once my beautiful friend actually said to me, Ness, you need to be on Facebook. And I'm like, what? Why? It opened a whole new world. So a lot of my inviting and reaching people, Chantel, actually happened on Facebook as well. But I would back that up with personal messages and personal invitations over the phone.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Yeah. And for anyone who was close by to me, they'd have a written invitation in pretty coloured pencils. Literally, that's how I did it. I'd get Ariel's pretty pencils and in rainbow colours, write them out, and we'd go and drop it in their letterbox because, we were in the hills and they lived close to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sent with the oils and, that kind of stuff. You could put a little sample in of, like wild orange, a tiny little vial, something like that. Come play. And a lot of my invites are around, come play with me. Come explore and have heaps of fun. And I'm going to teach you about these amazing gifts of the earth. And you can see how I'm talking. That's exactly how I invite them.
Yes, yeah.
And at the end of all my classes, I make sure I invite them to the next lot of classes and tell them to bring people and for me to come and share with them. So what happened was it actually created this snowball effect. So one invite would actually spiral into inviting many.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Wonderful. And did you do any intro classes? Like a lot of my builders are probably all intro. Okay. Yeah.
It was all classes. So the only exception was the food classes. Now what happens is, because that's my passion, that was one way to touch people. Didn't even realize I was doing it. It was just a way to touch people that wouldn't have otherwise been touched by the oils. Because by that stage I had already been using the essential oils in food, they were naturally coming out in my recipes. So that was kind of like one small niche area. Yeah. But every other class that I did, they were all from my home. They were all intro classes. And I would just jazz them up with names because that's what I'm like. I like everything to be fun, right? Yeah. You've heard me say, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. So I would call them, deep rest, relaxation and meditation with aromatherapy, right? Engaging the moods and emotions, uplifting, creating a new resonance or a new song in your heart with aromatherapy and sacred sound. And it would be the Home Essentials kit, right? So we'd start that meditation with some Frankie Boy and like snorting lines of frankincense, all of us in the room, and it would just Frankie Boyd up, And it was it's a beautiful way to introduce them in different ways. What I hear actually is really interesting, Chantel. A lot of people say, oh, but I get bored doing the same intro classes. How can you possibly? The song of the oils weave their way into the fabric of every single person in that room's being, right? So as it does that, it expresses a new story and a new song because everyone that comes to your classes are different. Right? Each intro class is totally different.
Yes.
You You don't have to be saying the same things. Just take a different slant. In the beginning, begin by saying, if I had a magic wand and I was going to wave it around and grant you one wish today, what would it be? What would you love to manifest from this class today? What's your intention for this class today? And based on what they're saying, rejig that Home Essentials kit to cater to that.
Yes.
Right? And you have so much fun with it. So I was doing like 5, 6, 7 intro classes a week.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've got the kids and everything else going on too. So that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, the 2x2x2 plus 1 on steroids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, and it means that there's a lot of people to follow up and to touch, but I tell you what, it generates phenomenal momentum. When you're inviting consistently, and of course, say I invite you one week, Chantel, and you can't come, I'm still inviting you for coming weeks. I actually never took a no as a rejection. I'm just like, that's cool, she's just not ready right now. She can't because little Sally's teething and they're not sleeping, and so she can't come. So I would just keep inviting you. And I would also put myself out there to say, shall I pop in? Let's have a play with some oils. I'm going to make you a yummy healing elixir and, whatever, and we'll just sit. I'm going to bring some bliss balls or raw chocolate, whatever I had on hand, and we're going to sit and play with the oils. When's good for you? Is around 2 good? And she's like, oh my God, I'd love that. It's so hard for me to get out of the house with, baby Sally, whatever it might be. Yeah. So I was making myself available constantly, and I was doing all of this in school hours, mind you.
Yes.
So classes were in school hours. And then at nights, I would just hook up with Paul to look after the kids. And that's where he jokes and says he was the doTERRA widower.
That's
like, I love you, bye. But when you create this kind of momentum, it's really exciting because people are seeing how you invite and how you generate interest, and that duplicates. And that energy, that high resonance duplicates as well. It's the unspoken that's resonating also. And that's where all of you in Chantel's beautiful tree of love, where all of you can really touch and empower women. I know a lot of you are really passionate about empowering women, empowering each other, uplifting, helping each other to rise. To do that, you need to be there in the field consistently doing stuff. And if that's 1 class a week or 2 classes a month, so be it. You just go out at your pace, but give it 1,000% every time.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful advice. Yeah. And what about anybody in your team? They probably won't get there, but if there is people who are just sort of struggling with some confidence and they know, oh, look, I'm just no Vanessa-Jean, and I just got some doubts and they don't have that. Is there any advice or any suggestions, any insight that you can give to them just to give them a little bit of extra, support into going there?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say this: for every single time that you withhold sharing an essential oil with someone, you are withholding the greatest gift on earth from that person, right? So take that bottle of oil, and I've got this beautiful blend here, which is the Lioness blend, which one of my girls on our tree about to do Diamond Club gifted me. And you just take it and you lift it. And you create a powerful vision in your mind, which is to confidently touch men and women and children all over the world with your love for these gifts of the earth, right? And just anoint yourself with the oil wherever it is that you need it to go. If it's over the throat for expression, over your heart to stay true to your heart. And from that place, allow yourself to go into your belly, because that's where lack of confidence sits. It's in the belly. It's in the heart, the power center, right? The solar plexus. And just place your hand over your solar plexus, and maybe you want to place something like elevation or citrus bliss, the orange type of oils in there, and some FCO, and rub it clockwise over your belly. And then just place your hands over your belly and take a deep breath and say, I am enough. And I am choosing to stand in my beautiful power, not to have power over anyone, but to empower everyone that comes into my life. And I'm just going to quietly go about my way, inviting from my heart, knowing that me being me is perfect and is enough. And I don't need to be anyone else, because who I am right now is the gift that that person needs.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's mindset. It's where your heart is. When you come from your heart, see service. This is a really beautiful Buddhist principle as well. When we're serving others, we're not thinking about ourselves, right? Think about all the times you've volunteered to help, right? Or you've put something on to help others, right? We're not thinking about ourselves. So we come out of that selfish, I guess, space where we just allow ourselves to indulge in all those negative thoughts and, oh, I'm not good enough, and comparison becomes the thief of all joy, as we all know. So where we go into service and go, how can I serve? And I say this at every training, you all know, I say, for those that know me, I wake up every day and I say, how can I serve the high good of all concerned? And actually, when we come from that place, there is no negotiation. When someone is there presenting before you in whatever way, and you can touch them, you reach out. Do you know that Ariel says to me, she actually said it recently, as this morning in the post office, she said, Mummy, do we have any oils on us? I said, yeah, we do, honey. What do you need? She said, that lady over there just needs some frankincense. And then she proceeded to tell me what would really help her is frankincense, ice blue rub, balance, and lavender peace.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? You're probably 100% right. She wanted to go and connect with that woman, right? And touch her with oils that have changed her life so much. So if we just look at the way of a child, they have no limitations, right? They don't have any self-constraints because they're coming from this place of expansion and abundance. They naturally move forward to serve. The other thing to become aware of, can I add one more thing? Do we have time?
Please do. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, please.
So I just want to show you something. So this is how the energy of a woman moves. So our movement is like this, right? We're flowing, it's fluid, it's like a wave. If we try and sit in rigidity, that's where we actually lose our confidence, and that's where we enter into the pain body of I can't do it or comparison. A man stands like a mountain, strong and secure. It's not rigid. It's this strong place of holding. That's why we love to go to the embrace of our brother, lover, father, beloved, right? Because it holds us. Our body moves like this, and it reflects our emotional. So when you're helping each out with that your passions, realize your dreams, ranks that it is you're reaching for. Remember.
Oh, I hope you're still with me. It's just gone fuzzy, Vanessa. Oh dear. Let me see. Hopefully she's going to come back. Oh, there you are.
Has it come back now?
Yes, it has come back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure when you lost it there, but I was just saying, so if we can return, if we can return to this fluid motion as women, and often all that means is just put on a good song and have a good dance, have a sing, get some oils out that help bring you into this beautiful expanded state. Chanting works really well for me. Some yoga type poses that I've just started reconnecting with human. Even I just want to say I get into, states of not believing in myself or, really putting myself down and all of that, right? So it's not Vanessa-Jean and she's like this. It's actually we're all human beings in this world, and it's really deep. So we can rise above that density and come into more of our light consciousness by remaining fluid, which keeps us flexible and keeps our mind elastic.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Every now and then I'm losing you, so I think we might wrap it up. But yeah, thank you so much, Vanessa-Jean. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with? Because you've just given us so much just then in this tiny amount. I just want to go back and watch it all already. But is there anything that you'd like to leave with us?
Take deep breaths to stay in the moment. Really honor yourselves and remember that you are enough and you are magnificent and you're perfect as you are. Put your intentions out every day. Pray, meditate, whatever it is for you, and really call forth being the best version of yourself so that you can shine your light and inspire others to do the same. So live your days delighting, inspiring, and educating yourself and others. When you seek to be inspired, you inspire others. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vanessa-Jean. Safe travels for later this week, and can't wait to see you again soon. Hopefully Fiji. I'll see you Fiji, I think.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry about the internet connection, but I hope it all worked well for you.
Yeah,
Take care.
Great.
Have an amazing 2017, everyone.
Thank you so much, Vanessa Jean. Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.